Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and we're making a $13 snap video this evening, primarily because Sky Poker has got some ridiculous promotion running for the next 6 weeks, which means at prime times it's just stacked with regulars who aren't particularly good, but at the same time make it hard to bum hunt. So I'll be giving up with the bum hunting during prime hours and just looking to play on Sky during the afternoons and in the mornings when I'm not working, when most of the Sky regulars are probably going to be at work. I'm going to be looking to play games then. Mornings, afternoons, and maybe very late at night, but not at peak times. Peak times now, the lobbies are just absolutely stacked. And with the same number of fish playing with just an absolute ton more regulars. Because, I mean, the fish population isn't going to change for promotion very much, if at all. If anything, the fish are going to try and play a couple more tables and probably play a little bit tighter. And on top of that, the games are just flooded with regulars. And then when we go to try and start tables, the fish are already at tables, so fresh tables aren't spawning. Basically, it's just a complete clusterfuck for a bum hunter. Understand why Sky do it. It generates them a shit ton of rake. Understand why the regulars play it, because it gives them a shit ton of rake back. But it just fucks the games for weeks. So I won't be playing Sky at peak times, and it gives me an opportunity to look at these AAA snap games and see just how much they've changed since Party Poker made a big play for cash game players with their rewards changes. So it's interesting for me to see how these snap games are playing compared to how they were playing when I was playing them months and months and months ago. Don't expect to be anywhere near as much fun as playing on Sky against tons of fish, but it will present some different challenges, that's for sure. We're going to squeeze this ace queen. Seeing a flop 5 ways out of position with ace queen off is going to be a losing proposition, you would imagine. Whereas I would imagine squeezing pre-flop is going to be a winning proposition, so we'll take the winning proposition, or hopeful winning proposition all day. Pocket 7C versus a cut-off open. Doesn't have a full stack. Potentially getting squeezed by players I don't know anything about. Certainly can't 3-bet because I don't want to 3-bet and get it in. So either I want to call or fold. Don't know if we're going to get squeezed or not. He doesn't have a full stack. It's going to make a very nitty fold for the time being. And that is super nitty. If he had more chips, I would have called in a heartbeat. But given that he's the most likely player we're going to win a big pot from, he doesn't have much to win. And we're not certain to close the action. So... Also, we're not certain to see a flop because we're not closing the action. So with all that in mind, we're just going to fold, make a nitty fold. I'm going to be opening 3/4 pot from under the gun and middle position with my entire range, and this silly half pot thing from the cut-off and button. Irrespective of my hand strength, we're going to be using the same raise sizes. Flop a gut shot with a board that hits our range far harder than hits flatline's range, so we're going to double barrel here at the very least and then go from there. If we get raised, obviously we'll change our plan slightly, but the plan at the moment is the plan was double barrel and then decide on the river. We're just going to fold versus this raise against an unknowner. Doesn't represent very much, given that you wouldn't think he'd be limping pocket kings or pocket queens. Not a ton of draws out there that it can be repping though. We mean 10 jack will be one, I guess. We're just going to give him credit and fold our hand for the time being. If we're getting more pot to him and he frequently raises us post flop, then we'll have to reassess how we're going to play against him. Anyone who watches my videos and speaks to me at the tables on here, as you can see, there is no chat facility. If we start trying to chat, it makes the table fucking massive and the whole thing goes to like a clusterfuck. So I do apologise to anybody who says hello, because I won't be in a position to say hello back to you just because of how the chat situation works. I don't know why they've fucking done it. It's bonkers. But it seems to me that lots of poker sites make lots of some weird decisions. I know Heribats a good player. Normally I would 3-bet or 4-bet him, but we have 2 potential fish in the blinds. So we'll call and try to let them in the pot too. Heribats quite a good tight regular. When he bets this size on that dry board, we're going to give him lots and lots of credit for having a good hand. We've got a 4x on the button here. We're just going to 3-bet pretty big and side call it off. For like this stack size for 30 blinds or whatever that is, pre-flop 30 something blinds. Ace Jack's just going to be way too strong against someone who we think is going to be a fish. Hairy-bat opens. We're going to 3-bet the Ace Jack offsuit. We hope to take it down pre-flop. If we don't, then we'll see what happens. If he 4-bets, trivial fold. He does 4-bet. That's a pretty big size in 2, given that he's in position. I think if I was facing my 3-bet size here, I wouldn't have been making a 4-bet any bigger than, say, 750. It's a really big sizing. I think it's actually quite a poor sizing. Pocket 10s versus someone who isn't full stacked again. We're just going to 3-bet pretty big and call it off versus this stack size. Sorry, Redeemer. Really sorry. Cannot chat. If you end up chatting at this left-hand side table, we might briefly indulge in some conversation. 3-bet the Ace King off versus under the gun. He calls. We hit the flop just about as well as we could hope. And we don't hit the flop over here against Viva, whatever it's called, Callman. So we're just going to check back. C-bet, smallish here, and he just instantly folds. We pick up the flush draw here, but I'm just going to fold. And we don't know if our draw's good. If it is good, then if we make it, we're not likely to make any more money. This hasn't got a lot to win, and if we're behind, we are in big trouble, I would imagine. 3-bet the Jacks, wound in a lot of 3-betting. I don't normally 3-bet this much. He's getting some good situations, I guess. He gets squeezed by a complete unknown player to me. The King Queen off. If this was just a standard 3-bet, I would consider 4-bet bluffing here with King Queen, but given it's a squeeze, a little bit more credit. The plan here is to make, I'm planning on playing for at least an hour and a half. And the plan is to make 2 45-minute videos, not one full video. That is one big open from Chipotle. I mean, we could call to set mine here, I guess, could we? It's a fucking big open though, isn't it? What's that? 5.5x? Whatever, just steal my blind for that, I guess. We'll be 3-betting the 10-9 suited, I think. It plays reasonably well for a call too. Don't know anything about my opponent. We're 3-betting though. We are out of position still. I'd like to either have the best hand or the initiative when playing out of position. I certainly don't have the best hand with 9-10. No, we don't think we have the best hand, so I'll try and have the initiative instead, I guess. Should probably start tagging some players. I haven't played on Triple Eight for a long time. I've played a couple of sessions, but not consistently for a very long time. Been playing a little bit on my WSOP account so I do know some of the players, but something's gone wrong with the WSOP account. I'm not sure if they stopped me playing on it or what. I have no idea, but I'm not sure if it's not available in my region anymore, but the client went to update and then it kind of just, I'm not the most technically minded person of all time, but it wouldn't let me update it properly. Now when I go to uninstall it, it won't even let me uninstall it. It's something about install log files are fucked, I don't know. But either way, WSOP's gone tits up for me, which is a shame because I used to quite like playing on that account where my name wasn't out there. But it is what it is. We're back playing on the Regitime account and that's just fine, I guess. So I haven't been playing too much. I certainly haven't played the Regitime account for months, so there'll be an awful lot of players that I need to tag. Some that I know already that are good players from like playing with them the last time I played quite a lot. But there's tons of guys. I just don't know any of these guys, for example. So I've probably got some work to do in my database. If I plan on playing here more often, I've probably got some work to do in my database in finding out who the good regs are, who the bad regs are, who the in-between your regs are. Good 3-bet ace queen suited here, but given there's a potential fish in the big blind, just going to call. Have a good shot. Good chance I'm going to check raise with the backdoor flush draw too. When we check raise here, we can certainly have pocket 7s, pocket 10s. Not much king X, I guess, because we wouldn't be check raising with any of our king X. We do get called, we pick up the spades. So the question here is, do I bet small and then try and overbet jam the river? I have to call here with my full house, not loving it by a long way though. We win. Do a check raise big here, sorry, check raise small and leave a big river bet, say just bet like $2.50 or something, $3, or do I like go with the overbet and call it off? And I think we're going to go with the overbet, call it off, I think. Keep tagging, Reggie, keep tagging where possible. I'm not saying all these guys are fish, but what I'm doing just for the time being is anyone who is not displaying 100 big blinds is going to be tagged as a fish in the short term, and then probably reassess at a later date. 3-bet very small with the ace jack offsuit just to try and isolate the fish. Other player that we have tagged as a fish. If we get 4-bet, which is going to fold and not care. Let's see bet the pocket 7s here just to collect any dead money that might be out there. If it's in here with like an ace 8/hand or something like that, it's just having folded. Calls, we're not intending to put any more money in this pot unless we spike a 7. And we might even still be in front versus ace jack, ace 10. Who knows what? I doubt it. So probably not ahead when he just massively bombs £9 into it or $9 into it. Ace jack here. If we had the ace of hearts, I would see bet. As we don't have it, we'll just check and take our free card. He's like bombs into the turn, which is a shame because I was planning on betting small and shoving river on the king, but he's taken that option away from us. Nice upswing. I think it's a regular. Limp in the small blind. We're going to raise and see what he does. See how he plays versus the limp. See what the flopper, what he expects. It's going to be the best hand a decent amount of the time. But obviously very vulnerable to lots and lots of turn cards on that board. So again, we're just betting to deny equity or charge for equity, or however you want to word it. Fish in the big blind, unlikely to get squeezed. Could defend the 5-7 suited, but I prefer the fish to have more money. We'll start making speculative calls. See, some of these people with the short stack will be quote-unquote pro short stackers. Certainly some that come from like the Ukraine and what have you, who do buy in short and play pretty fucking nitty. I'm not sure it's just because it's their strategy or because they deep down know that they aren't good deep stacked. No idea. But either way, I don't rate them too highly, but at the same time I don't think there's a bunch of profit in them either. Pretty trivial check call here with the ace-3. It's a pretty fucking meaty sizing. Might check fold to a large bet here on the turn. Remember it's like $4.50 or more. I think we should probably fold. He does bomb big. I know we've kind of capped our range here and we're being exploitable, but generally in these games, big bet flop, big bet turn, I'm just going to give them credit unless someone does it often, and then I'm going to have to do something about it. But I'm not going to do something about it the first time it happens. I'm just going to check down our 9 here and hope to somehow be good. Not really sure how we can be. 10-8 got there. King X was already there. And like Jack 10, Jack Queen combos got there. So I expect to lose a lot, but I don't expect anyone to fold a king. So we check back and we beat the 8-7, which is one of the only hands we could really hope to beat there that you could have, apart from some completely random floats. Jack 9 suited, 3 fish behind. This could be a 3-bet, but it's not going to be this time because the fish behind, if there was sharks behind regulars, however I want to describe them, I would absolutely 100% have been a 3-bet. But with fish in the blinds, fish on the button, then I think it plays much better as a call. Three betting's obviously fine too, but I'm not one for making like 3-betting when there's fish to back behind. I usually want to go and keep them in. Build the pot, hopefully try and hit a home run. Defend the ace-10 suited versus under the gun. I'm not a big fan of it. If it's ace-10 offsuit, it will be a trivial fold. Suitedness doesn't have that much value, but I think it's probably okay. A gut shot here and a backdoor flush draw that I think we're going to check raise with. Check raise gets through. Value bet our kings on the other table, and that gets through. Which will do me on that board. I'm not going to be too thrilled to play a big pot with 2 kings on a medium card monotone flop. We get 3-bet by upswing here. It's an incredibly trivial 4-bet, I presume. We have a middle position. I thought it was in the cut-up at first. I thought this was like small blind versus cut-off. It was middle position versus cut-off. Sorry, middle position versus small blind. I'm actually just going to call. Don't think we can get it in too great in this situation. And now we're just going to not fold. And if he somehow has a jack or ace is full, then he gets all the money. Again, we're just going to call with the queens, keep the fish in, see a flop. Pretty good flop for 2 queens. We get bummed, There's not much we're going to be able to do about it. Redeemer clearly has a big hand here. Really don't think there's much we can do about it. Can we fold given that sizing? What's he bluffing with that uses that size? Actually going to fold. See if we can't see what happens. Good fold, Reggie. I'll bring that across in a moment. I'm delighted with the fold. We're going to go all in here versus upswing. I will bring the hand up in a moment. This is when we had the queens. Redeemer did have the aces. His bet size cost him there, getting paid by me. His bet size, Redeemer, if you're watching the video, I think you've made it way too big, sir. Way too big. You just made it not easy for me to fold, but you gave me the option to fold. There's not much to be scared of on that board, really. Yeah, there's a few draws out there, etc. But you bet $3-4 there, you know, you're going to get on against me. You're going to get on all day. When you bet nearly full pot. Yeah, pretty pleased with myself there. I haven't done too much wrong because you've got maximum value from a fish you flop to draw, so it's hard to like criticize the player too much. But in terms of like a balanced perspective, if you had like a random ace king there, you could never use that size to bluff with, or some other like random hands that you wanted to bluff with. You could never use that size. So it does give you a small problem, I think, by choosing that size. But if you're just concentrating on playing against a fish and expecting me to fold almost everything, then if that's your intention, I guess that's okay. That should have been, I thought I half-potted it, but didn't min raise. Doesn't make a lot of difference, but in case you think of deviated from the strategy we talked about earlier. I'm not going to defend the 8-7 versus a fish. I want to play as many pots as possible against fish, but the 8-7 off versus someone who's got less than 20 bigs when we're going to be out of position isn't going to be one of those situations. King Jack offsuit, not a standard open for me in the mid position, but it is when we have a fish tag in the big blind. That was a mistake. Speed fold in the pockets, the ace-7 off was a mistake. But it was going to lead to me getting dealt pocket aces the next hand, then it's a mistake I can live with. Shipot is min raised. He'll be putting more than that in if he wants to see the flop. Wouldn't mind seeing a nice 3-bet here so he can stick a nice cold 4-bet in. We are deep. I need to bear that in mind. No, not super deep actually. Seems like a reasonable size. What's that? 21 and a bit blinds? Seems fair. Again, this could easily be a 3-bet with a 7-9 suited if there was fish regulars behind, but because there's potential fish in the blind, we're going to call again. If there's 2 sharks behind, we would absolutely 3-bet there. We've been squeezed, but it's been really small, so I'm probably going to take a flop. We're obviously going to get the aces in. We don't win a stand to win a lot of money here, but given these just like 5 blinds, we're getting a great price pre-flop. We just have to see a flop. Completely miss it. Just get all in against deep and see what happens. Hold, please. Hold, please. Thank you very much. It's a nice hold. That is a very nice hold indeed. We'll certainly take it. Not sure about his stack or pre with queens there. I think it's really close. This is a cold 4-bet. I think it's dubious, to say the least. Some of you guys will no doubt not agree, but I do believe it's a very dubious stack off pre-flop. We flopped the nuts on table 2. I didn't have much of this board, given that he didn't 3-bet pre-flop. It's all high cards. It's one of those spots where you think, oh cool, we've got a straight, but then you think, what can he actually have? And the answer to that is usually not much. Although some people will just like defend ace jack, ace 10, stuff like that with just a call. So I mean, he could have like pair plus cut shot some of the time, but most of the time it's just going to be check folding, which is particularly anticlimactic, but there's not much we can do about it. Keep tagging people, Reggie, keep tagging people, keep forgetting. But as well, there are some weird short stack dudes going on. 8-7 suited, loose open, just saying he's got no money, we're not actually going to open it. We are going to see bet our gut shot on table 1. Defend the Queen 10 suited against somebody who is bestowed with the fishy tag. Probably not going to check raise versus a fish. We're just going to try and make a hand or check call. We do make a hand. I'm actually going to overbet here. Get value from ace X. Don't give any free cards to spades. If he's in there with like a no hand like king X or jack X with a spade, don't want to give him a good price to realise it. To realise his equity, sorry, not to realise it. Realising it doesn't make much sense. It probably made enough sense. 9-7 no suit, we're not going to be stealing from the button with that. I know plenty of guys that will. Some guys that say I'm too nitty. Whatever. It might be true, but I'm not too nitty that it prevents him from winning, which is the most important thing, I guess. Don't like set mining with small pairs that much. But given it's going to go multi-way, we'll give it a shot. I hope it's going to go multi-way. We brick. He bets 30 cents, which is bonkers. Hope deep raises so we can just fold. He does. No bother. Monstrously trivial squeeze here on table 1. Again, we're sizing up a little bit, 11 blinds, just because he's min raised. It's irrelevant to me. The price of poker is going up when I have 2 queens, and we're not just going to make it like 8 blinds or whatever, because it just gives people way too much of a good price to call. Gives them good implied odds. We don't want to be doing any of that really. Check back here. I don't expect him to have too much king X, to be completely honest. King queen would want a lot of the king X he would have, and we block that really hard. King jack's another king X he might have, and 2 on the board, so there's a good chance we have the best hand, just not that much of a good chance of getting like paid 3 streets. So check back. That's a big bet. He can have plenty of 2 pairs here. Super unlikely he has a straight again, given the fact we've got 2 queens. It's a big bet. At this point, I'm thinking I'm good chance I'm behind, but even if we are behind, we clearly have some decent equity. Deuce doesn't help. If he blasts this river, we're just going to let it go. Give me a problem if he bets like $5. If he bets much bigger than half pot, I think we have a trivial fold. If he bets small, it makes me sad. That makes it a really easy fold for me. The little devil on my shoulder is saying jam, 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 because we've got like such good blockers. But do we expect if he has got, man, what full houses can he have? Now the deuce is paired. Doesn't have jacks. What can he have? Tempted to shove. Not tempted to call. Mind you, we now beat Jack 10 as well, don't we? Wow, this is close. There's actually, the more I think about it, the more I think this might be a call. Not entirely sure what I'm beating. Very interested in hearing thoughts on that hand. Given that we had the blockers to the nuts, I think if you bet, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm just used to calling in that spot and just getting shown something that I'd almost ruled out. That interesting. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's a trivial fold. Maybe I'm just completely overthinking it. Yeah, interesting hand. In fact, I'm going to post that hand to my Facebook group. If you're not a member of my Facebook group, it's now got nearly 500 members, which is pretty cool. You can find the link to it beneath the video. Please come and join up. King Deuce suited. If it was Ace Deuce suited, I would thought, but it's a bluff. I know a lot of people would use like King X and Ace X suited hands as a bluffing combos. I tend to just use the Ace X one, so we'll. Or the King Deuce. Again, I would open the King Jack, but the guy in the big blind who's got the fish tag doesn't have any money, so never mind. Yeah, Queens. It's going to stick with me for a while, that one. If you do have any comments on or any thoughts on it, do come and find my Facebook group. I'm going to post it as soon as I finish recording for the night. If you have any thoughts, come and get involved in the Facebook group. Just do remember, there are some rules of the group. There'll be, well, do remember, you won't even know about them yet. But there's a pinned post at the top of the group saying that, you know, I insist on people being respectful to each other. My group never, discussion in my group, no matter how strong opinions are, it never gets insulting or disrespectful. It doesn't happen. The few people that have been disrespectful, arrogant, cocky, whatever you want to call it, I just booted them out because I don't want it. I don't want it to turn out like Reddit and 2+2. You just get a bunch of wankers swinging their dicks around. The good thing about it is it's Facebook, so everyone's name's out there. There's no anonymous nonsense going on. I'm going to call with the Jack Queen off here with the fish in the blinds. And yeah, it's a nice group. Do we want a 3-bet hairy bat? Do we want to try and see if we can get obliterated to squeeze? Keep the fish in. Going to check to the fish and just try and check raise all in. See if we can get him committed. I'm pretty sure Hairy Bat has nothing at this stage unless he's just turned 3/8. So I'm not worried about giving him any free shots. That is absolutely phenomenal flop for King Queen suited in the multi-way pot. In the bin, King Queen. In the bin. 8-6 suited. Potential 3-bet versus Redeemer. Fuck's sake, really sorry dude, but you're going to get the fish tag. Because you just decided not to reload. 3-bet versus Redeemer's awful isolation sizing. 75 cents an isolation sizing against a small blind limp is horrendous. Sorry sir, I know you know me and you're watching the videos sometimes, who knows, maybe you are, maybe you're not. But if you're going to isolate from the small blind, do it like a man, sir. Do it like a man. To complete the pocket sixes if possible, and we're going to flop a set, which is pretty nice. And we're not going to slope here, we're just going to go pot, hope they call, pot, hope they call, pot, hope they call. And we went pot 3 folds, which is whatever. Wasn't the greatest of boards for getting calls on. People don't limp king X very much. We've got all the sixes, so you're only really going to get action from some limped king X pre, which won't be happening too often on flush draws. So again, it's one of those situations we flop a set. We hope to get some action. We don't. We try not to get too frustrated by it. I mean, given that sets are one of the hands we make a ton of money from, it is annoying when we don't make money when we have one, because it's one of the most profitable situations in no limit flopping a set. But what can you do? No one has anything. You don't get paid. This is normally a spot where I used to just go bet a game, but we're not going to get caught by too much. So I'm just going to check, then just bet twice turn river, just to give someone a chance to hit a 10 queen or a jack queen or something like that. Maybe get 2 streets from them. Should have waited for the 10-7. That should have been an open. Jack isn't the greatest of cards on the river. Some straights get there, but obviously we're not checking, but we'd rather see a nice offsuit 4 or something. And our flop check did indeed let us catch a player with a 9 who wouldn't have called happy bet the flop, so worked out nicely. The old beluga wheel thing was flop a big hand in the blind in a limp pot, just basically, as I said earlier, pot hope they call, pot hope they call, pot hope they call. But when you drop the 3 kings on king deuce and you've got no kicker, then I think checking 1 street and going for 2 streets after it's completely fine. Wow, fish just dunks all in. I'm not going to raise here. We're going to hope Redeemer fucks up out of the way, then we'll decide what we're going to do against Papadopoulos if he sticks around. Or jams, I suspect I'm going to call, but I won't like it much. We get it in good. No 6, no 8, please. Happy days. Drag another one down. Only a small one, but never mind. As I say to my wife quite often, size doesn't matter. I've completely stopped tagging players again. King, queen from the Redeemer. We're going to call with Von Oliver potentially in the pot. Going to give up here on the 5-8-8. We're going to call twice here then. Probably just give the fuck up on the river. Spade's not a great card. The 10 shouldn't change too much. And obviously if he's just fighting a c-bet with a random 10, like a 10-9 or a jack-10 or something, that it hits him that way. But I mean, you're kind of unlucky if he's just hit a 10 on you on the river. Doesn't appear to be any deep stack fish around, so I think what we'll do for the second video, we'll just close the tables and I'll take a 10 or 15 minute break and then start them again. I like playing deep stacked. I really do like playing deep stacked because it gives you lots and lots of opportunities for interesting spots. But if there's no deep stack fish around, then I'm not that arsed about playing deep, because all you're going to end up doing is just getting all the beans in a cooler type situation against someone like Ready for This, who I think is a regular 2, and just whatever, it's just whoever's lucky and who's on the right side of the cooler. Then I don't think there's a great deal of value playing deep in these games unless there's some deep fish kicking around. This was cut off button. I would probably squeeze with the 5-3 suited, but it's middle position cut off. And there's, I think, when I've reviewed so many players' databases now, with players that have been helping, and I've noticed it actually when I'm doing my own work too. against my regular opponents on other sites and things, that there is a vast difference between a player's opening range from the cut-off to the button. It's probably the biggest gap, I would say, or one of the bigger gaps. Middle position, early position, people tend to play them pretty much the same, even though they shouldn't. And then the cut-off, there seems to be a big jump from 14% middle position, 16% middle position, something like that, up to around 30% from the cut-off. It's a big jump. I think there's a huge difference in ranges. I'm going to call with the ace jack because of the potential fish in the blinds, which is why I'm not that keen on 3-bet bluffing versus middle position or under the gun. I have to call once with the queen 8. He's made a pretty big size, but hope to see a queen, an 8 or a red one. See the 9. I'm just going to check fold now. And the ace jack offsuit. We're getting phenomenal odds. Phenomenal odds. But it's just such a trouble hand. Oh wow, look at the flop we would have got. We would have got the flop, but never mind. Such a trouble hand, and he's going to fold it. And the guy who squeezed c-bet and took it down. So it's annoying that we would have flopped trips, of course. But we don't stick around to worry about stuff like that. If he doesn't bet this turn, we're going to go for like a delayed double barrel against him. He calls here. We're going to overbet river bricks. That isn't a river brick, unfortunately. And now all of a sudden I'm not sure I want to barrel anymore. Non-club, I'd be barreling all day. If that was like a queen of diamonds, I'd just be betting $4.50 here, $5, and expecting it to work an absolute ton. But with it being the jack of clubs, with it being the queen of clubs, I just think there's lots of random clubs he can have in his hand. That being one of them, maybe we get him to fold that. Who knows? But yeah, I think my plan was fine. Going for like the delayed double barrel, but on that exact run out, we had to abort the mission. I have no issue with that. And raise this smallish for value, just to make sure we charge any club draws that are out there, or get a little bit of extra value from a jack. Lots of fish at this table, so 9-7 suited normally be a fold. Going to be an open instead. So we're coming to the 45 minutes. We're going to sit out next big blind. I'm going to have a 10 to 15 minute break, and then we're going to come back and make the second episode in this series. So we're having the same session, different episode. Wow. Absolutely do not want to like 5-bet this and get it in. That's what I do not want to do. Can we 5-bet fold? That seems rough. That seems rough as shit, 5-bet folding. But it's cut off versus button versus small blind. Actually, I'm just going to call. Don't like 4-bet folding. Don't like 4-bet getting it in. So therefore, calling seems like the best of a bunch of bad options. 100 blinds deep there, it's absolutely trivial. I just smash the all-in button and don't care. And call here, I'm going to continue on the turn of the king with a club, with an ace, of course. And I hope he checks a lot, of course, too. He instantly checks. I just think we have the best hand a lot here. We're beating ace queen, we're beating ace jack. I don't think he instantly checks with hands like pocket jacks and stuff. So I'm going to check back here and maybe think about calling the river on like anything that isn't a Broadway card. And we're just going to check down here and I expect to be ace queen a lot here. Chop with ace king a decent amount. Don't see that much value in betting just in case he is like playing pocket jacks in a bit of a scared fashion. Jack queen. We'll take it. We'll take it. And that's why I'm going to just not play this deep, because it seems like the only deep players around are relatively competent players. And deep stacked against relatively competent players, it's not a lot of fun a lot of the time. It's not a lot of fun for me. It's my 200 big blind deep game against really good players or competent players is probably okay, but that's all it is. And it just puts us in weird spots there, like pre-flop. I didn't know what to do. Didn't know whether to 4-bet get it in, which I think would be fucking horrendous. 4-bet fold seems horrendous. Just calling and missing, well, wasn't much fun either. It was a weird spot, and that's what the stack depth does. If that's against a fish, we can be a lot more comfortable with the situation. Against a good player who we think isn't going to make very many mistakes if we 5-bet, then all of a sudden it's not that nice a situation. So I think we're going to sit out. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea, chill out, and then we'll be back with the second video from the same session for video 2. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and any questions below the video's fine. Join my Facebook group, post them there, whatever you want. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll be back with the second episode in probably a couple of days after this one gets released. Bye bye for now.